Hello viewers, you're most welcome to our YouTube channel, The Fertility Hub, and thank you for subscribing. And if you have not yet subscribed, I ask you to subscribe. This is a channel where we talk about infertility, the causes of infertility, and other reproductive health issues and how to overcome them. And today we have our guest who is going to talk about a big topic, which is surrogacy. But before we dive into surrogacy, let me have my friends, my girls, introduce themselves.
I'm Kemi Ishamori. Thank you for watching.
I'm Akantara Prudence. You're welcome to the show.
Our guest, she's called Madame. Should I call you Madame Dorothy?
No, you can call me by my name.
She's called Dorothy, and she's going. Surrogacy, me as a person, I understand surrogacy as one of the options of how to get your own children. And I didn't know it was actually available in Uganda until I met Dorothy. And it's a pleasure to have her here today. And she's going to tell us about herself and tell us more about what is surrogacy. Most people may hear the word and they don't understand what it means. So you're most welcome, Dorothy.
Thank you, Prissy. I'm very glad to be here because we are discussing an important topic of children. It touches my heart because I know how important children are in women's lives. It is the best joy a woman can have. So to have every woman bear a child, it's very important. It speaks to the heart. My name is Dorothy Chomugashom Cimenta. I established a surrogacy agency called Divine Thumbs Surrogacy Agency. It's been running for 2 years. I want to imagine it's the first of its kind because I haven't heard of any other. We have been running, there are challenges here and there, but I'm glad that now we have started talking about surrogacy. It hasn't been happening way back. So I'm very glad to be here, Prissy.
You're most welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
What is surrogacy?
Yes, surrogacy, to state simply, is a reproductive process where a woman chooses to bear a child for another woman. Simply, it's where one woman, by contractual agreement, accepts to get pregnant and give birth to a child for another woman.
Okay.
Yes.
It's
There are 3 parties involved, I want to say. Major parties involved. 2 female, one who is a surrogate, and another called an intended parent. A surrogate is the one who carries the baby. The intended parent is the one who contracts the surrogate to carry the baby on her behalf. That will mean the child who the surrogate has carried is not hers. By all means, is not her child, but the child of the intended parent.
okay.
Yes, there are different types of surrogacy. One is called traditional surrogacy. This type means that the surrogate offers her egg. And then the intended father. Now there's the intended mother and the intended father.
Yes.
Because you need a male and a female
To have a
to meet and bear a child.
yes.
So in this case, because in this surrogacy process, you don't conceive by natural means, you have to do IVF. I'm sure you're very familiar with the terms IVF.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so you carry basically an embryo. It's a fertilized egg and sperm.
And you carry it on behalf of some couple.
Yeah, you go to hospital, the intended parent expresses interest that I want to use a surrogate to carry my child. So husband and wife move to hospital. By medical means, they pull out the sperms and the woman's egg. It's a medical procedure and fertilize the sperm and egg to make an embryo. It is the embryo that we insert in the surrogate's uterus
Okay.
to carry to term and then give birth to a child. So traditional surrogacy here means, let's take an example with the surrogate.
Yes.
The doctors will use your egg and the sperm of the intended father. That's traditional surrogacy. There is another type called gestational surrogacy. Gestational surrogacy is where I am the intended mother and my husband is definitely the intended father. We use my egg and my husband's sperm. Yes, to fertilize and make an embryo, which the doctors will insert in the surrogate's uterus. Yes, that's basically about surrogacy.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. What necessitated you to start surrogacy in Uganda? What what made you feel like you need to start surrogacy in Uganda?
Yeah, over time I've been sharing with friends, and somehow stories of infertility caught my attention.
Yeah.
Once in a while you listen to people expressing their worries that they are infertile. Actually, a few of my friends, like one who was very infertile, she got married. 4 or 5 years down the road, she was conceiving but losing the pregnancies. And at one point she was crying to me and telling me the husband is told her point blank that she's trying to think outside the box to get another woman and bear a child. She was completely crying. Then afterwards, my personal cousin, who I stay with, is married, went to hospital. Her wife was pregnant. She went to hospital. In the process of delivering her baby, the uterus ruptured.
Oh, sorry.
That was my turning point. I realized this woman may never have any chance of getting another child.
Yeah.
You know, when you have your uterus, getting pregnant is majorly about having a uterus in addition to other things.
Yes, yes.
So for such a woman who has lost her uterus, may never have a chance of carrying a baby.
Again,
Then all over time, it kept ringing a bell. Okay, there are challenges of such issues. Some people are infertile, unfortunately. They are losing baby. They conceive but lose the babies. Then there are those others who get uteruses ruptured.
Yes.
So I told myself there must be a solution. There's always a solution in this world. So I imagined, yes, most women keep trying different procedures, IVF, which are successful. Some of them are unsuccessful. But for such a category of women who rupture their uteruses or try IVFs and they are not successful, and they are throwing a lot of money in the procedures, I thought of a solution. And it came to my mind through reading, definitely, that there's this solution which Ugandans, if they welcomed with open arms, would be a gateway to parenthood joy, and this is surrogacy. Okay. You are not able to carry a child on your own because of different challenges, but there's some other woman who is able to do this job for you. Okay. And you end up being happy as a mother.
Carrying your own child, having your own child.
Yes, that's what majorly drove me to open the surrogacy agency, because I realized it's not a subject people are openly talking about. Yes. So I challenged myself to start the agency professionally. I advocate for the practice. So I'm majorly an advocate for surrogacy.
Dorothy, what are some of the challenges you have faced in this surrogacy business, especially it being something new in Uganda? What are some of the challenges that you have faced, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, I wanted to first state clearly, I'm not doing this as a business. Yeah, okay. I'm mostly doing it as an advocacy to teach Ugandans that there's something you can open your minds to think about. So I'm really not into it majorly for business. But to answer your question, it's mostly about mindset change.
Yes.
not only for Ugandans, the entire African continent is not open to surrogacy. Then they look at it as a taboo anyway, if I should say. So it is something that I feel open about, but the rest of the public isn't. So there's basically me in a white curtain, and I feel the rest are in a very dark zone. I feel it is a practice we can welcome and adopt, but my colleagues do not look at it as something we can easily adopt. And I tell myself, there's so many things I've adopted from centuries ago. An original African never wore clothes, but now we wear clothes. We had natural hair, but now we treat our hair. These are some of the practices and many others that we're adopting from the already enlightened world of the West. Why an African cannot quickly open their mind to think about this instead of living in total despair is a major challenge for me. Secondly, it is an expensive venture.
Yes,
it's an expensive venture that if it were for me, I would provide money to some of these women to carry on the procedure and afford it. But it's damn expensive. It's damn expensive, and an ordinary Ugandan wouldn't afford it. So I want to think it's majorly those two. And you were asking how I've tried to overcome them. It's continued communication, because matters of the heart, there's no medication for matters of the heart. You wouldn't go to hospital and you ask a doctor that I want some medicine to change my mind over something. You will just employ psychosocial workers and technical professionals who just have to continue talking, and that's what advocacy is all about. We just have to keep talking on platforms like these. Thank you so much, ladies, for opening such platforms. We have to keep talking. I will not talk myself, but bringing people like you on board and many others is very interesting. Such platforms are good. There are other online channels that would help. In future, we should open up trainings, physical trainings and symposiums, so that it is a subject you can openly talk about in public. It is not a shame. Some people, I want to use a word, disability. Disability is not inability. You're not able to conceive, but it's not for forever. You can use other modes to achieve your dreams.
Have you gotten some people that you've tried you've tried it out and then it has failed? Like you've gotten a lady and then you've done the surrogate thing, you put the
embryo.
The embryos in, and then it has failed or it's already successful.
Okay, now, like I mentioned, I majorly started my agency as an advocate. Advocates are merely, you make noise. You just have to keep talking. I have no technical background of that is medical. I'm not a medical doctor. So what happens? What you're talking about is a procedure carried out in the medical facility.
Fertility hospital.
But what I'm aware of is that I've dealt with all the fertility hospitals in Uganda. I talk to most of them, and I am very glad that this surrogacy idea is picking shape in this country. Some women have had their babies using the surrogacy topic we are talking about. Some doctors have confided in me that they have clients who they take on board and have had children. And as I keep talking, I've met some of the female who are considering to take it on. But like I said, it is still raw. It's a topic that is still raw. It's an idea that
Yeah.
is still raw. We need to keep convincing Ugandans. So
advocating.
and that's what I realize some people are coming on board. They are opening up. There are thousands of girls who are willing to be surrogates.
Okay.
There are a handful of women who are picking up the idea and saying, look, there's something I can think about. But like not yet getting there to take a stand and carry it on. But there are some who have had babies through the procedure, only that they're not willing to come out and talk. She will come and tell me as a professional who is into the field, but we won't be willing
to come out and open up and tell people this is how I got my baby.
Exactly, and give a testimony.
Yeah.
But the percent is good. We are better now than we were yesterday. Yes, some affluent females are picking up the idea.
Okay, so what are the criteria that you follow to select a surrogate mother?
Yes.
Yeah, how do you select them?
Yeah, myself, on my side, like I told you, I'm majorly an advocate.
Yes.
I could call it recruiting. I have to recruit
females, yes.
A number of female who are willing to be surrogates. And I want to mention, this you cannot do it entirely for the money. It is such a tall order.
Yes.
To carry a pregnancy, carrying my own pregnancy is such complicated. Imagine you're carrying it for somebody else.
I know.
So you totally have to be built for it. And that you can only get from God. To give you such a kind heart, to give you such
patience.
Such patience. You have to be a unique human being to
and
do
then
this.
you let go after.
And then you let go after.
That's
Imagine.
actually, that was like my other question.
You get
after
it.
you get pregnant, after you let your baby be taken.
After 9 months, you just let go of your child who you just carried for 9 months. So you can't. You have to be a special human being. Yes, there's a financial attachment to it, but you really have to be built for it. When I get these girls on board, I'm very particular. I want a straight human being, because for you really to carry a child for another woman, I put myself in their shoes. And how I do that, you first express interest. That is number one step. You are willing to take it on. Then, of course, I do background checks, and this I do. You have to provide a next of kin. Some people tell me, no, I want this to be private. I want this to be handled privately. I want no member of my family to know about it. That one, it's a flash. I don't even consider you.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag. There must be one person, either a friend or member of the family who you can confide in. Or like I can reach out to when I don't get you.
Yes.
And so that's a social screening. We call it social screening. You have to have a next of kin. You have to provide me address where you stay and the local authorities around you. Yes, it's from those people that you will know these are the surrogate you're taking on board. Yes, then the rest we deal with the hospital.
Okay. So as a person, you're the only one who knows where this surrogate mother is.
Yes, because these matters are very private.
Yes.
You cannot just open to everybody.
How about the parents, the intended parents?
Yeah, the intended parents, yes, we are in touch. You see, different people have different tastes. The intended mothers who would want to know their surrogate, to meet them physically, that is okay. Accordingly, how the contract is designed in such a way that we satisfy a client. What you want is exactly what is handled. We advise you as a professional. We even have lawyers on board and psychosocial officers. But what you want most comfortably and is practical is what we deal with. So if you don't want, you as an intended parent, you don't want to know to meet physically your surrogate, so be it. But as an agent, I do the moderation. I become the moderator. Yes, I give you information regarding your surrogate, I give the surrogate information regarding the intended parent, even if the other party, the intended parent, doesn't want to ever meet. There are those who want to meet, and it is okay. Those meetings are arranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true that a relative can't carry for the other, let me say like a sister, can't carry for her sister a baby?
No. That's very, you cannot even think about it. Because what you need is a female. Any female is okay as long as you have a uterus and you can carry. Maybe what is very typical is that why a relative is discouraged is because these people know each other. You're my sister. I want you carry a baby for me. Out of the blue, information may leak in the family that, you know, this lady was pregnant, but where is the child? The other one wasn't pregnant, but she has a child. So it is very true. This child she carried is for Dorothy. And now, because these matters of the heart, I may want my child to know me as the mother. And now it leaks in the family that it's you who carried my child. And so, I mean, it is psychologically disturbing.
I feel like there's also that attachment.
You have.
Yes, me with a baby.
Exactly.
So I'll feel bad if I see the other one beating the baby.
You get it. You know, at some point you may even like you say, I'm your mother. And I wouldn't like that. So I would personally discourage it. Because you know what would happen in the future. I would really encourage a mother, this intended parent, doesn't even ever meet a surrogate. But that's my personal wish.
Because me personally, I would think it's because, you know, when you carry a child, you definitely get that attachment. You bond when you're carrying the baby. So the moment you know where the child has gone, I have a feeling these same ladies may go follow up, keep looking at the baby and go there, this is my baby. So I think
another question I'd like to ask, what are some of the misconceptions about surrogacy? Some of those things you listen to and you're like, really?
One, she has mentioned it, a relative can carry for the sister. But those are the misconceptions. There's no medical issue attached to it. It is just those medical considerations. The other one would be some parents worry that when a surrogate carries a baby for you, they will carry their genes. It's something not even to think about, unless you consider traditional surrogacy. Like I mentioned, traditional surrogacy, you're the surrogate. I use your egg. My husband provides the sperm. They are fertilized. Then you carry the baby. This baby will bear your genes because we provided your egg. But in majority of the cases where people consider gestational surrogacy, where my egg is used with my husband's sperm, totally, you are just a carrier. It's just a bag, like you put tomatoes and whatever in a bag, and then you remove them.
And take the bag to carry something else.
You do not, the baby does not carry any of your behavior, any of your genes of your grandfather and great-grandfather, not even yours at all. It will have genes and DNA of my egg and my husband's sperm that were used. So that's one of the misconceptions that we hear about. Then most of the girls that I get on board, they worry about the cesarean. Some people tell me, Dorothy, I would get on board, but C-section is a no for me. And indeed, for surrogacy to be surrogacy, I'm sure I've discussed with most parents, I would rather this surrogate produced produces through C-section, not a natural birth.
Yes.
What we're trying to avoid is majorly medical, yes, because a lot of issues are involved with the natural birth. You're not totally under control. But C-section, the doctors are totally under control. Of course, God above is above everything, but C-section is easily monitored. Yeah, secondly, like I said, it's majorly medical. And to avoid any mishaps of the surrogate's blood or something mixing with a baby. Yeah, so that's a professional way of doing it.
Okay. What are the ethical and legal and ethical considerations does your company consider?
Yeah, like I mentioned, matters of the heart where human being is involved, I can get complicated. But and so you cannot just judge a book by its cover, and you look at a lady and you're like, okay, this one, I think she's very straight, I think she's no. That's why we go ahead and have to draft contracts, agreements, where both parties involved have to append their signatures, read through. I have my lawyers as an agency. The surrogate is advised to have a lawyer, personal lawyer, and the parents also advised to have their personal lawyers, so that we enter into a tripartite. We draft contracts that each one of us, each of the participants reads, agrees to. If they don't agree to any of the contents, we make changes until everybody is comfortable. And once you have appended the signature, like mentioned, the contract is very binding. You must follow. So that's how we ensure all parties are legally bound by the contract they sign. And once you have signed, you must completely abide. Along the way you don't abide, there are definitely implications along the way. But this is in an effort to have everybody comfortable and ready to walk the journey peacefully.
What advice can you give to parents, individuals and couples out there who would like to consider surrogacy as their path to parenthood?
Joy. I want to appeal to my sisters to completely change their mindset. And because everything begins with the mind. Everything, I would think, entirely everything that happens in the world begins with the mind. And there's no medical, something medical, like a drug, we can be given to change a human mind. So it begins with us. It begins with my females, my sisters, to deliberately make a mindset change. Like we decide to change our hair, go to salon, change the fashion, treat it with an intention of looking different, to even wear wigs on our head, to look different. This is a deliberate effort you can make as a woman to think about the idea. Just to even think about it, not to just rubbish it, because you don't have to despair. Like I say, when life offers you lemon, you make lemonade. You don't completely despair like, I don't have an option. There are options out there. It's just that there are cultural and ethical considerations that we're too stuck into as Africans, and we are not willing to erase them out of our minds. And I don't only want to talk to my fellow sisters, only the female race, but also male. The male also have a part to play, and this is a very big part to play. Yes, they are so conservative. I want to say our male counterparts are very conservative, and they're too African.
Very African.
Too African, you know. And when our sisters are willing to even give it a small thought, these women, the husbands, just rubbish it, and it is so discouraging, and it is touching. Some people are getting frustrated and getting emotionally disturbed because their husbands selfish, you don't want to even think about considering the thought, and open to it. Reason, you know why? Because I know, I mean, I can go out and have another woman and bear child, but I mean, what happened to for better, for worse?
I know.
Yes, so I want to encourage and appeal to everybody, not only female. It's just that we are 90% careers. I mean, we have, I mean, without us, I mean, getting a baby would be a challenge, but also men have a big role to play. So as Ugandans, my fellow sisters, let's do a complete overhaul of our minds and open up to adopting some of these things. I mean, just listen to some people talking and get convinced that surrogacy is another option for parenthood joy. Just like you'd try any other IVF, but when they have all failed, try it. Try it. You'll thank me later. Time to bear children.
Yes.
I mean, they are career oriented. They want to be CEOs of the company, and now you think about carrying a 9-month pregnancy journey. It derails your career.
You down.
Some of those can use the option. Yes, they are single. I mean, marriage is not for everybody these days. They say men are very unavailable.
Men are there, but they are.
I mean, they are scarce.
They are
That's
scarce.
what everybody is saying. I would encourage and appeal to my sisters. You really don't have to turn 50. That because this Mr. Right is not coming by, and you decide to live a single life without even one child. There are many options here. You can do an IVF. You don't even have to carry the child because you don't have the Mr. Right. You can use the surrogacy processes to get for you a child, and it's very joyful.
We are in Uganda. We are advancing all the time. So everything is here. Let's embrace the new technology. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you have learned. And in case you want to be a surrogate, we are here. Please contact us. And you know, you've heard the process you go through. And mother, a couple who is out there and you want to consider it as a path to your parenthood, please also come. We shall welcome you. Thank you so much, and guys, keep subscribing, like, comment, share. Until next time, bye.